This is going to be a quick tutorial on the CDJ2000 Nexus and the version of Rekordbox that comes on the deck itself. Most people know that you can download Rekordbox from Pioneer's website, and I've included a link down in the description below. But the CDJ2000 Nexus also comes with a version of Rekordbox that's a little bit dumbed down, but allows you to make some changes to the beat grid on the fly during a set. I'll reiterate that I'm going to be uploading a video later that's going to go over all of the features of the full-fledged Rekordbox that you can get on your PC, but for right now I'm just going to explain exactly the difference between the PC version and what you can do on the Rekordbox version on the CDJ. If you're not familiar with Rekordbox at all, basically it's a software that analyzes all your tracks so that they're ready to play on any CDJ2000 that you plug your USB drive into. Rekordbox's main function is to create a beat grid so that you can use sync, quantize, and all the effects in time correctly. Since we have this brand new awesome high color, high definition display on the CDJ2000 Nexus, they've actually added a zoom feature to the waveform. Now I'm zoomed all the way in here, but you can zoom all the way out. You can advance through the track. You can even skip all the way forward ahead a little bit. But what we're mainly concerned with in this video is what happens when you hold this encoder wheel down for about 1 second. I'll do it again here so that you can see. There's a grid and a zoom that are highlighted. Right now I've highlighted grid, but if I hold this down another second, it turns back over to zoom. Zoom allows you to obviously zoom the waveform. And if you'll notice, there are little red marks that go in line with the phase counter above here. So if we go to a red marker, that indicates the 1 beat. So if I set a cue point right here, we can see that it'll count down 4 beats. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll always be on the 1 when there's a red beat grid highlighted. Now let's say, for example, that you analyze thousands of tracks and you go out to play your first show, and you go and you load up the track, and it turns out that your beat grid is off by maybe a quarter of a beat. Not a whole lot, but just enough so that if you were trying to do them quantized, it would actually mess up your set a lot. So it's not usually this bad, but I have had some tracks where Rekordbox has analyzed them and they've been maybe off by a 1/16th, and it does show up in the mix. Now, unfortunately, on the CDJ2000 Nexus version of Rekordbox, you can't do all the features like change the BPM. You can't contract and expand the waveform, but you can shift the waveform left and right. So if your first beat happens to be off a little bit, let's zoom in all the way. Here we are, and you can see that the red tick mark is not quite in line with the first beat. So if we had quantize on, it would actually skip to not the first beat, but it's actually a little bit off, as you can see there. And you can hear when I'm playing it, it's not hitting that first kick correctly. Now usually this isn't a problem with house music, but if you get into like drum and bass or anything with slightly different beat patterns and not simply 4 on the floor, it can happen quite a bit. So what you do to fix this, if you load up your track and you see, oh, my Rekordbox beat grid is off by a little bit, all you have to do is hold down the encoder wheel until the grid is illuminated, and then you shift it so that they are perfectly in line with your red right on that first beat. So if you go to quantize, it'll be on perfectly every time.